Tune in this month on the Cutter Historical YouTube channel as September will be a September to remember, as many sports will be broadcast. Baseball, we have the OTP Legends League Season 4 alongside PC Replay Baseball at times. It's the pennant stretch. Above the Rim College Hoops, the 64 best teams through the 16 tournaments that I pre-done will be set up, and a tournament winner must be held. Second and 10 PC football, as college football on Saturday and NFL on Sunday. 128 team single elimination battles will commence. Stone Cold Hockey, we will talk about the 1981-82 season set and a playthrough there. Cutter top 10 sports videos on major sports, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, and a few others. ASG Golf goes Canadian as all four tours head to Glen Abbey in Oakville for weekend battles. NHL 94 Emulator mods, as ROMs will be set up of different national teams and different NHL formats. Of course, chat about boxing. We'll have a grand tournament of winners from Legends of Boxing and much, much more. It's the Cutter Historical YouTube channel for September. Don't miss it. And now back to your feature presentation. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome to yet another Stone Cold Hockey 1981-82 NHL season playthrough with the New York Islanders, who are trying to three-peat. I would like to see if I can three-peat. We're still early in the season. We, the Whalers and the Oiler Drops, have yet to lose a game, whereas Winnipeg and Colorado have yet to win a game. Everyone's won at least one. We lead the Patrick Division with Washington, the Rangers, and Philly behind us. Real Cluche, 10 goals. Remember what he did in the WHA thing in 79? But yeah, 10 goals himself in 6 games. Marcel Dion, second, 7. Wayne Gretzky, Jim Fox with 6. Bobby Smith and Ivan Boudreau with 6. We have Mike Bossy doing 5. Points-wise, Cluche, number 1. Gretzky, Dion, and Kurt Frazier, number 4. Our top point scorer is Mike Bossy with 8 points. Goes against, still in young season. Grant Fuhr being the big one. Teams, the New York Islanders. Our players right now. Not a lot of highlights. 10 hat-tricks, though, including a 4-goal game by Bobby Smith against the Leafs. Mike Bossy put up a hat-trick against the Canucks. Our boy. And Rio Cluche's got a hat-trick against Hartford in a 6-6 tie. Right now, there was only one game that has more than 30 on the fan graphs. It's Pittsburgh-Philly, when Philly was down 5-1 after 2 periods, but Bridgman, Ben Wilson, Reggie Leach, Senizalo, and Reggie Leach ruined Ricci. Harrison only played for 23 minutes. Did he get hurt or something? Yeah, he got hurt, and then Ricci had to come in. And he was looking good for a little bit. All right, so our next game is against the New York Rangers. Our first game of the 3-game series. Our thing. Rolly Mielson starts against Eddie Mio, the backup for the Rangers. Steve Weeks with the apple on his mask, the big apple. Eddie Mio, former WHA goalie for Indianapolis and Edmonton. John Davidson, starting at the effects of his knee problems. John Van Beesbrook was up as an 18-year-old. And Steve Baker. Oh no, Steve Baker was the one with the apple on his mask. I don't know what Steve Weeks had on his mask. Nevertheless, so the Islanders, who do we have? Well, Billy Smith's not in that, but who do we have playing? We have Mike Bossy, one of the most gifted goal scorers ever, until the back injury. Brian Trottier, bringing First Nations into focus. Clark Gillies, a first-round pick, who a lot of people thought was not supposed to be a first-round pick, but he proved them all wrong. John Tonelli to Bob Nystrom, the pair, or 1980. Bob Bourne there. Danny Potvin, who the Islanders drafted number 1 in 1973 in executed Montreal. Montreal was willing to give 5 players up to the Islanders for Danny Potvin, but knew. The Sutters, Brent and Dwayne Sutter brothers. Anders Kalor, Butch Goring with the big helmet, and the first major, what they call, trade deadline deal, where they got Goring from LA for Dave Lewis. Wayne Merrick, Mike McEwen, who was a former Ranger, but troublesome in Colorado for Don Cherry's liking. Thomas Janssen, Billy Carroll, Stefan Pearson, Hector Marini, Dave Langevin, former Oiler in the WJ, Ken Morrill, Lake Placid fame, Greg Gilbert, and Gord Lane. The Rangers, the non-goalies, Ron Duguay, known for his Hollywood style, Mike Rogers, former Hartford Whaler in the WJ, Mark Pavelich, part of American on Ice, Eddie Johnstone, Don Maloney, Kitchener, Rachel Rutzelainen, Dave Smooth as Silk, another American Icer, Pat Hickey from Relief, Dave Maloney, Mikko Lainen, who in '82 had a 6-assist game in the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Flyers in real life. Barry Beck, Shoot the Puck, Barry. Steve Vickers, who I thought was an Atlanta Flame, but nope, he wasn't. He won the Calder or for Rookie of the Year. Nick Fotoyu, the man from New York State. Mike Allison, Dean Televis, Ryan Greshner, Rob McClellan, another American Icer. Carol Fadney, Andre Dorr, Tom Laidlaw, future head coach, I think. Yuri Gillis, Ed Hospodar, Tom Younghans, and Peter Wallin. Anyway, 3 minutes into the game, we get penalized for one. And fortunately, we kill the zone. 4 minutes later, go ahead. 4 more minutes. Aggression, and injury. 5-minute major on Johnstone. Our power play and attack has been reduced. Fuck. But we can score anytime we want. Oh man, we had the kill zone. And we couldn't do anything. Now look at day. No score through 20. 5 minutes later, Forcer, Gresham. There's a fight. Dave Maloney and Hector Marini. We killed them more than we killed. What's up? Gresham? And Pavlich. And the score? What's on Pearson? How about power play from Billy Cox? 1-0. Much later. No jet skills. The problem. Roots and Linen from Pavlich and Rogers. Makes it 1-1. Only on the Rangers, it's Hospodar. Oh, yes, second chance. Holiday Road. Holiday Road. You know, Clark Gillies, Clark Griswold, Clark Gillies, a second from Brent Sutter and Boring. 2 minutes later. Let's go! It's a time for a place and a time for love. Put the puck in the freaking net. Well, who's the bossy? His 6 from Merrick. And then the Rangers score. We're going to root to the line. And the second from Layla and Televis. 3-2. They're not going away. And we score! Tortellini Tonamele. 26 on the clock. From Nystrom, it's at 4-2. Man, 6 goals in that second period. Amazing. Person. They score! You're not so young, Hans. Tom Young Hans from Mikey Ellison and Mike Rogers. 4-3. Young Hans, eh? Yeah, gotta come down and do it. Don Maloney try tie? No. He won't. 2 minutes later. They score! Look at it again. There's a time for love and a time for a dance. Make the puck and into your pants. A 7 from Tonali. 1 minute later. Raiders score. Pavlich. Maybe it might be American Ice. His 4 from Young Hands and Rogers. Young Hands, wow. 5 minutes later. Raiders score. Throw your hats in the air. Waving like you don't care. Throw them on the ice and no. Waving like you don't care. Say, yeah, yeah, fuck you, Rangers. Fuck you, Rangers. Oh, man. I hope no Ranger fans see this. Unless they shut up, Cutter. Shut up, Cutter. Bossy from Trottier. He puts the hat trick. And he's a and the chance that they do it, 6-5. Ruotsalainen throws a hat trick of his own from Dory and Rogers. Ruotsalainen with a hat trick. Yikes. Dueling hat-tricks. Do 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 do. Let's go again. Roots and Lightens 4 for the night from Duke and Rogers. Are you kidding me? It's 6-6. Unreal. We just choked. And another 6 goals in the third period. No goals in the first, 6 in the second, 6 in the third. We're tied. 6-6. Oh shit, I forgot. That means it's over. That's right, I forgot. There was no overtime in 1981. You're thinking, we've seen plenty of overtime games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But there's one tiny problem. It was for the playoffs, yeah, but the regular season suffered without overtime. In 1942, because of World War II, they had to cut regular season overtimes out completely. And they never reinstated it until 1983. So we choked. How many 2-goal leads? We had 1, 2, 3. We had 4 2-goal leads, and we couldn't finish it off. And the Rangers tied it up. Roots and Linen scoring 4 goals in one game by a defenseman, no less. While dueling hat tricks in a tie. Mike Rogers had 4 assists. No, he had 5 assists. Rogers had 5 assists for the Rangers. The second Roots Linen goal is the only point Rogers didn't score on. How the fuck did we let the Rangers win the game? Tie. Oh my God. Really? Now, there is a special rule. The Rangers have to go home to play the Blues, in which they shut down St. Louis 6-0, so they took advantage. Oh yeah, Winnipeg wins the toilet bowl, beating Colorado, and Edmonton just lost to Chicago. So, Vancouver, Quebec won over Vancouver. We host the Kings. Colorado gets a point against Pittsburgh. Now, the rules are that if we lose, then the next game must be simulated until we win. Or, in this case, a tie. So our game against LA has to be simulated. And we win 5-4. Milanson beats Lazard. We scored 4 straight goals. Trottier, Bossi, Tonelli. The Kings can close with 4 goals. Simmer, Hardy, Bozak. But thanks for Kalor's second goal of the season in the second period, we won 5-1 and didn't choke. This time, we're still undefeated. Hartford's still undefeated. Not anymore. Edmonton beat them, so we're the only undefeated team in the NHL. Colorado will lose to Toronto, so they're still winless. They're still winless. Not the ties. So we're in Washington now on a Friday night. So we're in Washington. They're 2-3-2. We're 4-0-2. Mielenson back in that. Smith must be hurt, and he'll face Al Jansen, the backup for Washington. Dave Paro was the main goalie for Washington. I never would have guessed. Yeah, 82 was. No, sorry, I was going to say 82 was the first time Washington made the playoffs, but that was 83. Al Jansen, the popcorn kid, Mike Palmateer, the third string goalie. But yeah, Washington, Dave Paro. Never heard of him. Anyway, Washington sucked 15 games below 500. But anyway, here's their lineup, non-goalies. Dennis Maruk, the last California Golden Seals, Cleveland Baron. I remember that trivia question on Blue Shirt Underground. And Eddie asked, who was the last active Cleveland Baron in the NHL? I said, is it Dennis Maruk? I remember the name for some reason. And then they're like, yes. He got it. Yeah, Ryan Walter, he would be traded to Montreal in a massive trade for Ron Langway, coming the other way. Mike Gardner, the 700 goal scorer, the future 700 goal scorer, who was great for Washington, then went to Minnesota for like a year, then to New York, then to Toronto, then to Phoenix. Bobby Carpenter, a American hotshot, where American hotshots were not really that big back in 1981. Chris Valentine, what a weird name. Bank Gustafson, Darren Fetak, Gaetan Duchesne. I know he went to the North Stars. I have his card with the North Stars. Torrey Robertson, former Whaler and Red Wing. Tim Tukey, who is an AHL icon, but not in the NHL. Lee Norwood, I have his card with the Devil Dogs. Glenn Curry, Greg Ferbush, Rick Green, who would also go to Montreal. And that makes a trade. Terry Murray. Is it that Terry Murray? Lou Fraschetti, Paul McKinnon, Randy Holt, who once had nine penalties in one game. Jim McTaggart, Roland Stoltz, Wes Jarvis. No, not that Wes Jarvis who played for the Kitchener Rangers. Timo Bloomquist, Tony Castellato from the WJ, and Bob Pound Kelly. So 1 minute into the game, they scored. Marouk is 8 from Ghana. Well, he's an oil baron. Much later. They scored! Duchesne from Spytek and Valentine at Come on, Rolly, we want to be undefeated. Valentine. But Gillies can't score, neither can Carroll. Much later. They score again, Ryan Walter from Eskilston. Lose it 3-0. We might have to use those today. Yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling we're going to get fucked. Marouk. There's for us, Dwayne. Fuck. Let's go again. Ben Jacobson from Marouk. Frustrating. I know, but I'm like, well, I have to be given the card I was handed. I would love to do this. That's 5. That's 8. Second of the night from Traverse and McKinnon. Oh. Why are we struggling? Marouk probably would have scored if it was really in the net. Momentum. There's Garnier from McKinnon and Carpenter. We gave us 6 goals to the Rangers. Yeah, let's just fucking go home. Bossy. Marouk. There's a goal. Bossy is 10 from Merrick and Tonali. Well, at least Bossy showed up tonight. Oh, we scored. Dennis Potvin from Nystrom. 6-2. We're getting close. Oh, there's hurt. Anyway. Oh, we're going to be simulating another game. That's for sure. Split killer. Oh. Would have been nice with the split. Unless Jarvis from Green was 8-2. How embarrassing. One of the most embarrassing losses ever. And we are the last, at least we were the last team to lose again. We have to host Washington again. Colorado wins 8-5. Chico beats Ron Lowe. Edmonton was up 5-4 after 2, but Katola, Miller, Malineski, and he who shall not be named makes it 8-5. Now we played Washington and we crushed them at home 6-3. Rolling in that against Jansen and we win. Carpenter, Garner for them. Osborne, Trottier, Potvin, Tonelli, Janssen, and Merrick. Why the fuck didn't we not win the last time? Leafs beat the Rangers. So I know we would play back-to-back days, so we play Edmonton next. Well, the good news is Billy Smith's back in the net. We get Ron Lowe. So Edmonton doesn't put the 18-year-old Grant Fuhr. Grant Fuhr was only 18 years old in the 81-82 season. They were 48, 17, and 15. They're 6-3 now. Annie Moog was coming of age too. Yeah, Ron Lowe basically would be nothing but a head coach. Here's what Edmonton has. You know Wayne Gretzky, of course, the great one. You know Moose Messier. Glenn Anderson, yeah, Ranger fans will know him. Yari Curry, you know the Flying Finn. Dave Lumley, Paul Coffey, Kitchener, as I always say. Pat Hughes, Matty Hagman from Finland. Dave Hunter, great player, Risto Siltonen. The Protector, Dave Semenko. Tom Roston, Kevin Lowe. Brett Callahan, Gary Unger, who was once the Iron Man in the NHL. Lee Fogelin, Charlie Huddy, Doug Hicks, Stan Weir, Ken Berry, Gary LaRiviere, Mike Forbes, Mark Halfshot. Here we go. Hit. 4 minutes later. No. Much later. Messier. Hi. No. Hello from Pinelli Nitro. 5 minutes later. Everton Moose Messier hits 8 from Gretzky and Anderson. 3 minutes later. Score! Eddie Potten from Kalor and Sugar. 1 minute later. Aggression. Coffee. Score! Portally Finale has 6 and 5. 2-1. 5 minutes later. It was a hit. 4 minutes later. Score! Brent Sutter, the Sutter Brothers. Sports. Four Harvard goes from Bourne and Goring. Not Bourne. Let's go there. 2 o'clock. Edmonton. We killed them. And Mike Washington, Pinelli and Trash. I was like, damn it. 5-1. Well, I think we're the better team. Ha ha ha. Edmonton had nothing in the tank. Nothing. Do we play again? Oh, we don't play on the 20th. No, we don't. The Rangers do, but we don't. So Edmonton gets swept by the New York teams. We have to go to Hartford next. Okay. All right. So we're tied with Pittsburgh in points. Well, Pittsburgh's played 4 more games than we did. Philly and the Rangers. Quebec, Boston, Montreal, Buffalo, and the Adams. LA, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Calgary in the Smythe. Colorado's got no chance. Minnesota, Chicago, St. Louis, Toronto, and the Norris. Winnipeg has no chance. Winnipeg. Everyone's won 2 games except for Colorado and Winnipeg. And only Calgary has not tied a match. Well, Quebec and Boston have had 5 ties. Goal scoring, Bossy's 5th. And Smith's got the best goals against. Country are 4-1. Too bad he didn't play us. And Michel Platt. Gilles Chabert has a 4.35 ERA goals against. Bunny LaRock and Ron Lowe have worse goals against, and they've won games. Kind of weird, don't you think? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.